Hey guys, this video will focus on volume. It comes directly from 7.9D. It involves finding volume of prisms and pyramids. In this video, I'm only going to focus on prisms, and then I'll create another video that will have pyramids. I found the most challenging ones, so hopefully it will help. These are the ones that I see a lot of mistakes on. On your formula sheet, this is what you will see on the volume section. It doesn't specify prism and it doesn't specify what type of pyramid. The capital B means area of the base. The H is the height of, and then obviously V is volume, which is capacity. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It says find the volume of the triangular prism below. So prisms are named by the shape of their base. The fact that it says triangular prism, that means your bases are triangles. So we're going to shade both of them. If you notice, they are right triangles. And we don't need the longest side of a right triangle. We actually call that the hypotenuse, and we don't mess with that until 8th grade. The very first thing I like to do is write down my formula. Volume equals area of the base times height. I first have to find the area of the base, which is base times height divided by 2. And then, like I said, we don't use the longest side. It'll be 5 by 12, which will give us 60 over 2, which simplifies to 30 centimeters squared. The height is the distance between the bases, so this was nice because they didn't give us a whole lot of extra numbers. So I'm going to substitute my area of my base of 30. Substitute 50 for the height of the prism. And then I multiply. Well, we know 3 times 5 is 15. Using your powers of 10, you're going to add a couple of zeros. So it'll be 1,500 centimeters cubed. Okay, let's go on to our another problem. A lockbox measures 14 inches wide, 16 inches long, and it has a volume of 1,008 cubic inches. What is the height of the lockbox? So I included a picture so we could label it. You will not always get a picture, so if you don't, you definitely want to draw your own. So it says 14 inches wide, 16 inches long. We don't know what the height is, but we do know that the volume is 1,008 cubic inches. So that means that's 14 inches and 16 inches. So first thing I'm going to do is write down my formula. I'm going to plug in my values. 1,008 is my volume. The area of the base is 16 by 14. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 16 by 14. That will give me 224. Okay. I'm going to have 224 inches squared. Now I can plug that in. Now I'm going to have a one-step equation. 1,008 equals 224 times h. Now I need to solve for h, so I need to isolate it. I'm going to use inverse operations to solve our one-step equation. Divide both sides by 224. 224 divided by itself will be 1. And the height will be 4.5 because you would divide 4.5 inches. Okay, let's go to the next one. This happens to be a release STAAR test question from like a couple of years ago. says the gift box is a rectangular prism. It's the same setup. 384 cubic inches. The base of the box is a square with the area of 64 square inches. What's the height of the gift box? So it tells us the square is your base, and it's 64 square inches. Because it's a square, we know all four sides are the same. And so actually each side is 8. It's not asking you for it, but just kind of refresh your memory. First thing I'm going to do is write down the formula. Volume equals area of the base times height. My volume is 384. The area of the base is 64. We don't know what the height is. Okay, so we'll solve a one-step equation. We're going to divide both sides by 64. And when you divide both by 64, you will get 6. So the height is 6 inches. Okay, let's go to our last problem. It says a FedEx container is filled 1/4 of the way, or 25%, with packing peanuts. How many cubic meters are left in the container? So in other words, we only need to know 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to shade my bases. It's a triangular prism. There is 2 bases. The formula for volume of a prism is volume equals area of the base times height. The base and the height is 10.5 and 14. Remember, we don't use the longest side of a right triangle. That we don't even mess with that till 8th grade. It's called the hypotenuse. I said it earlier. You base times height and divide by 2. So when you go 10.5 times 14, you will get 147. But half of that will give us 73.5. This is just area of the base, meters squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that in. Times it by height, which is 11. Because the distance between the bases, it will give me 808.5 meters cubed. However, I only want to know 3/4 of that. That's completely full. I would like to draw a visual. It's not the only way you can do it. It's just one option. All 4 of them are 808.5 or 808.5. I need to know what each piece is worth. It's 202.125. So okay. All I would do is add those 3 times, or times it, I would definitely add, or you times it by 3, and you would get volume equals 606.375 meters cubed. If they told you to round to the 10th place or the hundredths, then definitely do that. If I had to guess, it would be the hundredths place. Let's just do it. So that's 7 is in the hundredths place. You look to the right, it's 5 or above, so that means if I was rounding it to the hundredths place, it'd be 606, and it would go up to 8. Okay, I hope this helped. Thanks for watching.